Hi, it's Amy from Select Travel Holidays. I hope you're well and I hope you're enjoying our virtual touring and destinations festival. There's no order in which you need to watch these presentations. Of course, there might be some that take your fancy and others that don't. But I like to think it's a nice mixture of focuses on different destinations and regions in the world and different ways in which we can enjoy travel, particularly touring. So I guess perhaps before the festival started, you hear the word touring and you might think along the lines of large groups of people stuck on a coach for hours on end. I like to think that perhaps we've started to change your mind on that if that's what you thought. And particularly today, we're trying to introduce different types of travel. So today we'll be looking at solo travel, luxury touring, adventure travel, and now we're going to look at a type of travel which doesn't necessarily involve any coaches or flights at all. We're going to look at, of course, rail travel, and this can be completely tailor-made, bespoke to you, and I think what you'll discover is that there's so many iconic trains across the world and some incredible, stunning scenic rail journeys in which the journey itself is practically half the fun and rather than just a destination. So we've got Claire from Fred Holidays to introduce us to rail travel and why you might want to consider taking a rail holiday. So she'll tell us some of the advantages first and introduce us to Fred Holidays. And she's also going to introduce us to some of the most famous trains and some of the most beautiful, stunning railway journeys you might like to take. Although it really is just a small sample, because they really can tailor-make your dream rail journey. Where there's rails, they'll get you there, and that's what we can help you with. And so I hope you enjoy this presentation, so sit back and enjoy.
Hello everybody, I hope you're keeping safe and well. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Claire Webb and I am the Business Development Manager for Fred Rail Journeys. It's very, very exciting for me to be bringing you this, our inaugural Rail Journeys presentation. So I'm hoping I can whet your appetite to travel by rail. So who are we? Fred Holidays are part of one of the UK's most established travel agents, Fred Olsen Travel. I'm sure most, if not all of you, are familiar with the name. We have successfully sold holidays around the world for over 25 years, but we have only recently introduced rail itineraries to our portfolio. And we are fully bonded for your financial protection. Everything we do is tailor-made to suit your needs, to travel on the day you want to travel and go where you want to go. And of course, we have an excellent reputation for outstanding customer service. Why tailor-made travel? Well, it's so much easier and makes sense for you to put the itinerary together that you want to experience, to travel on the date you want to travel on and visit the places you want to visit at a pace that you want to travel at. Multi-centre holidays are an excellent way for you to be able to merge cultures, cuisines and sites into one unique travel experience. You can choose how long you wish to spend in each of the places you choose to travel to. And we can take you there by air, by rail, by road, whichever you prefer, and put it all together in one unique package that's made just for you. So, have you ever considered taking the train instead of the plane? Did you actually realise how many places you can reach by train? And did you know how easy it is to do? Maybe I can tempt you to give it a try. It is extremely eco-friendly, which is a clear bonus straight away. You leave your car at home, you can connect through from your home station, and you've only got to be at St Pancras 60 minutes prior to departure. You can sit back, comfy seats, relax and watch the world go by with a glass of wine in your hand, a cup of tea, whatever you desire. Take your own picnic if you wish. And of course, you arrive at the heart of your destination, so there's not that huge transfer generally from the station to your hotel. That's definitely a bonus. Now, here's something you won't see out of a plane window. Absolutely stunning. And of course, these trains operate all year round. So you can choose the season you travel in. You can imagine the scenery is beautiful, whether it's covered in snow or like it is here in the spring. Absolutely stunning. Or maybe you prefer something like this. Wherever you travel to, you're going to go through towns, cities, countryside that's going to be breathtaking, and it's all part of your journey. You haven't even arrived yet and you're seeing beautiful scenery along the way. You to see the world from the tracks. There's a big world out there with so many more railway lines than you actually can imagine. And this is just a very small selection of some of the scenery you could see should you choose to travel by rail. Wherever there's an operational train track, we can build an itinerary to suit you. We can include hotels, flights, transfers, excursions, opera and show tickets. I'm sure you've all seen either Michael Portillo, Chris Tarrant, Joanna Lumley, Trevor McDonald. They're all on telly, just showing you how wonderful the world is by rail. And we can do that for you. Joining your river or ocean cruise by rail is a lot easier than you think as well. Cologne is only 4.5 hours from St Pancras via Brussels, and the station is right on the Rhine, as you can see. It's a beautiful city, worth staying an extra couple of nights just to explore that as well. How about joining your ocean cruise by rail? You could even add a few days on to explore the area. There are a number of cruises that leave from Barcelona, Venice, Naples, Marseille. Nice leisurely journey to get there, few days in the city, then join your cruise. Sounds fantastic to me. So, as I've mentioned, we've all seen television programs with famous people sleeping on trains, eating on trains, just exploring the world by rail, obviously. We can feature any of these luxury trains that you've seen on telly or you dream of. The blue train going through South Africa, obviously the Orient Express, the world's most famous train, and of course the Trans-Siberian. And they all have different levels of cabins. So they're more affordable than you think. And now for something really, really special. This is very exciting because, as you can see, this is a one-off departure. I know I said that everything's tailor-made for you. However, as you can appreciate, we are restricted to schedules of when the cruise ships depart and when the trains depart. And on this occasion, we've managed to twin two amazing luxury journeys together. Now, if you've not heard of the Al Andalus, please look it up. It is stunning. The image you see here is obviously one of their lounge carriages, which were built by the same company that built the Orient Express carriages as well. So they date back to the 1920s, 1930s. You can spend 6 nights on board here, being wined and dined and travelling through beautiful Spanish countryside, whilst obviously disembarking and having excursions to different areas as well. I will tell you that it is stationary at night because apparently with these trains being that much older, they're not the easiest to sleep on because they do rock more. So it's totally guarded at night whilst you sleep, which is reassuring. So you'll spend 2 nights in Seville when you fly over from Gatwick, 6 nights on board this gorgeous train, and then 9 nights on the beautiful Star Flyer. And then you'll have 2 nights in Malaga on the return before you fly back to the UK. We can actually take you there and back by rail, but it is considerably longer than the 19 nights as advertised. Beautiful, beautiful itinerary. And I think after this year, we all deserve a bit of luxury. The Orient Express, I feel, needs no introduction. It is the most iconic train in the world. The price you see here, we've based on flights from London to Venice. You'll stay 3 nights in a 4-star hotel there. And then your 4th night will be the journey that we all dream of doing one day and coming home on the Orient Express. Now, this train obviously is pure luxury, but one thing to remember is that there are no private facilities in your cabin. There are showers and toilets at the end of each carriage. When you get back to the UK, we are then using the British Pullman back from Folkestone to Victoria, where you'll have afternoon tea and bubbles on there just to finish your amazing journey off. One little point I would like to point out on this one is, on the British Pullman, if you need to use the toilet, please look at the floor, because the mosaics in each of the toilets on the British Pullman are individual and amazing. And bear in mind that they were built back in the 30s. Absolutely stunning. Another treat for you, this one, I think. This has to be one of my favourite itineraries. I am a city freak. I have worn out my favourite boots by doing city breaks 2-3 times a year. I just love them. The vibrancy, the different cultures, the scenery, you know, there is so much to see. Okay, it's not a relaxing holiday, but you've got so much to take in. You can go on a beach holiday later on in the year and relax. This is what you need to do. So this one, all the way through by rail. We leave London and you spend 2 nights in Berlin, 3 nights in Prague, 3 nights in Budapest, and 2 in Vienna. And on your return journey, we do overnight you in Nuremberg, because the journey really would be too long in one day. And we like you to see the scenery, as we've said already. And hey, if you don't get enough time in these cities, you can always go back and do them one at a time at another date. But consider this is a beautiful, beautiful itinerary. I love it. So moving on to France and the Côte d'Azur. This itinerary is not actually featured by anybody else in the UK, but I can assure you it takes in some stunning scenery. So we're on a 7-night duration on this particular itinerary. You'll be staying the first 2 nights in Clermont-Ferrand, which is one of France's oldest cities, absolutely stunning. Then you'll move on to Nîmes, and on the journey between the 2 places, you will be on one of France's prettiest railway journeys. It goes through national parks, gorges, and through the mountains too. While you're in Nîmes, you might want to take in the magnificent amphitheatre and just do a bit of exploring like we all do. And then you'll move on for the last 3 nights to Nice. We do include an excursion to Monaco as well here. And if you've never been to Nice, there are some gorgeous places there. There's a beautiful, at the old end of the town, there's a beautiful market, and the beach, although it isn't sandy, has some gorgeous little restaurants and cafes on as well. Definitely, definitely worth a visit. Lovely itinerary. Well, a rail journeys presentation wouldn't be complete without a visit to Switzerland, would it? So here we go. This is a beautiful, beautiful trip. And what you've got to remember is these trains operate throughout the year. So this image could be covered in snow and these trains would still operate and the scenery would still be stunning. So not quite like the UK railway when there's a couple of centimetres of snow on it. But hey, they're equipped out there to obviously run these all the time. So on this particular itinerary, we're overnighting in Geneva. And then on day 2, we'll board the train, take you along the shores of Lake Geneva and into the heart of the Swiss mountains. As you arrive into Zermatt, where you're going to stay for the next 3 nights, you will be met with the view of this mighty Matterhorn. If you've not been to Zermatt before, it's a beautiful little place and it's traffic free. So to get around, because the station is literally on the edge of the town, they have milk floats, the old electric type milk floats. You've got to be about as old as me to actually remember those. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's a little bit like going back in time. Whilst you're spending your time in Zermatt, we've included a trip on the Gornergrat Railway, which takes you to the base of the Matterhorn, where you'll get amazing views from there as well. On day 4, we'll all board the slowest express train, slowest express train in the world, namely the Glacier Express. It trundles along at 24 miles an hour for 181 miles to bring you to St. Moritz, where you'll spend the next 3 nights. Absolutely beautiful views, obviously, along the way as well. Whilst you're in St Moritz, we've included a round trip to Tirano on board the glorious Bernina Express. Strangely enough, on this train, you feature more glaciers than the Glacier Express, so maybe they should swap the names round. And then on day 7, we'll actually overnight you in Cologne for your last night, and you'll take in the beautiful scenery along the Rhine Gorge. And then on day 8, unfortunately, you do have to come home via Brussels. But if you've never experienced any rail journeys, please give Switzerland a try. It is absolutely amazing. Whether you choose to go any season, you'll get the beautiful scenery. Stunning. The Harz Mountain Steam Adventure. Now, this one I would say is a great one to experience if you've not done any rail tours before, because it's a quick hop over to Germany, taking in the sights and experiencing the rail at the same time. So on the first day, we take you as far as Cologne, which I said earlier is only 4.5, 5 hours. Gives you time to explore Cologne quickly there. And then you'll go on to our beautiful little town of Niggerode, which is stunning. An old town with old buildings, lots of little cafes, and loads of places to go out and about from there to explore at your own leisure. On the inbound on this one as well, we overnight in Hanover. So again, you can spend time exploring that city as well. And it's a really laid back route on this one. So definitely worth a try. So coming back closer to home now, we've got a lovely little trip on the Belmond Royal Scotsman. Now, this is 4 nights. So your first night, you'd be in a 5-star hotel in the centre of Edinburgh. And then you'd spend the next 2 nights on board the Belmond. Now, the image you can see here is the observation car. And the brief they were given was to do it out to feel like a 5-star traditional Scottish hotel. And I'm sure you'll agree they've definitely excelled themselves on that one. What nicer place could you find than to sit and watch the Scottish scenery go by? If you fancy a bit of fresh air, as you can see, you can go out on the back platform as well, which is lovely. So on this tour, you've got options to go clay pigeon shooting, fishing, do an estate tour, go to the Strathila whiskey distillery, and on board you will be wined and dined. There's also a spa on board this train. How brilliant is that? I'd love to go on this one. Well, I hope I've given you some food for thought today. This was a very, very brief summary of what we can offer you. As I said earlier, we can do any rail journey around the world in any class. I'm sure most of you have seen at least one of the rail programs that feature scenic railways at all different levels over the last year and thought, wow, I'd love to do that. Well, now you can. Stay safe and well, everybody, and thank you for your time.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed that presentation. There were some iconic trains there. I know for me, it's probably a bit of a cliche, I know, but the Venice-Simplon Orient Express has been on my wish list for years now. But then again, I am a massive fan of Agatha Christie, and it is a bit of a cliche, but you know, it's definitely on many people's wish lists. But there's also, we've seen some of the other incredible journeys that you might like to take, and as I said, that's just a few examples, but I hope it inspired you, and if it did, and if you want to find out any further information about any of the rail journeys we looked at, or any others you might want to consider, then give us a call on 01234 326 778, or email us sales@cruiseselect.co.uk, and I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching. Take care.